Good luck sa akin.
Thank you. Are you good? Are you good? Okay.
Yeah.
Are we good? Thank you for listening
Yeah.
to or watching our episode 9 of Holy Shiitake, the podcast where we talk about life in Japan, see the differences with the other parts of the world, and tell stories once in a while. If you're listening on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, all those stuff, or watching on YouTube, there's a chance I might be live right now at twitch.tv/fsanporte. If I'm not live, leaving us a like, a follow, all that stuff that you do in those places also helps us out a lot. Hello, Jenny. Are you warm enough?
Hello. Not really. You can see how cold I am right now.
I don't know how you do it. I'm actually sweating right now.
I am sweating, actually. This is part of the show.
This is what we do for the show. Alright, episode 9. Today we're going to be talking about how cold it is where you live right now.
Yeah, so that is in Hokkaido.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to jump in and talk about how cold it is for me here in Canada, which is why you look nice and cozy, and I'm actually sweating my balls off right now here.
To be fair, I turned off my heater, and I am seriously feeling the cold right now. No joke.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally fine for me to wear this. Yeah, I know it looks ridiculous, but so people out there who are watching, yes, this is my typical wardrobe or attire when I go out in the snow, especially if it's the peak of the winter in Hokkaido.
This is, yeah, because it does get cold. But before we get to there, are there any things that you want to show us or try with us? You know, we do that every episode. We kind of
Yes, we do.
look at some interesting things that you guys have. What do you have for us today?
Well, if you think about it, it's already the year 2020. So happy New Year, everyone!
Happy New Year! That's
Eh,
right.
yeah.
I'm so I can't. Yeah, I forgot.
What?
Okay.
You forgot it's 2020? Oh my
I
god, you're
forgot
getting
it's.
old!
I am getting old. This is the first episode that we have this year. Hold on.
Oh my god, yeah.
I almost got cold.
Fair enough, yes.
So it's
You're getting cold?
It's almost cold here. Hold on. It's the first episode of 2020. So happy New Year, everybody. Thomas in the chat says he really likes the buttons on your hat.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. So it's 2020, and we all know that the Tokyo Olympics is happening this year on summer.
That's right.
Yes, in summer, I mean. But we're not going to talk about that for now. We're going to talk about winter in Hokkaido. But yeah, so if you guys are coming here in Japan, we've got a lot to, like lots of surprises, lots of innovations and stuff like that. I kept on saying So on the 4th of January, I visited one of the shrines here in Sapporo, and one of them is called Shoma Shrine, which is just a 15-minute walk from my apartment. So we have a picture about that, Florent. I sent you a picture of me and Shingo at Shoma Shrine. Yes.
Oh wait, hold on. It opened on the wrong screen. I was like, what? Why can't I see it?
Yeah,
this is
so if you guys are like wondering who the hell is Shingo, so we sometimes we mention Shingo in the show, and Well, he's my fiance, and most of the time when I take videos or when I take photos about Japan, he's always with me. And in fact, we also had a video of our Christmas cake, buying a Christmas cake at Lawson, which we will show after the podcast.
Right.
And yeah, so do you have the picture right there?
I do. It's on screen.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can see me and Shingo like posing behind the shrine, and yeah, we prayed, and he bought me some stuff for winter. No, not winter, for the New Year,
All right.
and I'm going to share, yeah, share them on the screen, Florence. So this one is actually omamori.
Omamori.
Omamori. No, just kidding. So omamori means good luck.
All right.
Okay. I'm just about to open it. He gave this to me on the 4th of January, but I saved it to to show everyone. So this is omamori means good fortune. So you usually buy omamori, during the new year, and then you put it in your house, in your room, at the doorknob. You hang out the doorknob on your car, or even on your wallet. So this one is an omamori for money.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a kanji for money. So money and good luck. And at the back is usually the name of the shrine. So this one is,
Oh.
yeah, Shoma Shrine. All right. And of course, everyone, when we go to the shrine, we always take the time to see our fortune, which we call omikuji.
Omikuji.
Yes, omikuji. So omikuji means fortune. It could be good fortune or it could be bad fortune. So what you usually do is you go to one of the boxes near the shrine and you pay at least 100 yen or 200 yen, depending on the shrine. And then once you drop the coin, you randomly get your omikuji. So I got this one.
Okay.
And when you open it, there are charms. Okay, there are charms inside. This one is one of the gods of Japan. So this is the god of love. Ooh, love. Love and fertility.
All
So
right.
that means, yeah, so this charm you can put in your wallet to guide you, like this is the goddess of love and fortune. So that means I will be fertile, or
Wow.
be healthy when it comes to reproduction. But we're not going to talk about that right now. And what else? This is going to take long. I'm going to do a shortcut. So this is my fortune. All right. So when you open it, everything is in kanji, but there is an English version of this at Hokkaido Shrine. And
they make
yes.
an English version of it.
Yes, they do. They do the English version at the popular shrines. So in Tokyo, you have the Meiji Shrine.
All right.
And in Sapporo, you have the Hokkaido Shrine. And yeah, they do the English versions for the tourists,
Nice, nice.
It's all about business.
Yeah.
So yeah, so here, the kanji over here is the number of the fortune. And this is number 44.
Okay.
Okay, this is fortune number 44. And this kanji means small blessing. So this kanji means small, and this one is like just the blessing.
Okay.
So I only have a small blessing. Isn't that bad? I wouldn't tell you my fortune because this is very,
Well, I mean,
this is very discreet.
a small blessing is better than no blessing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Some.
Can you get no blessing?
Oh yeah.
Can you
It's
get like
either
you get one and you open it and it just says fuck? I mean,
that is if
sorry.
if you own the shrine. If you own the shrine, Florent, yes, I would expect something like that.
All right. I will bleep that word in the edited video. I'm sorry.
Whoopsies.
Oopsies.
So regarding that, if you have, so there are, different kinds of blessings. You got the big blessings, the small blessings, and small bad luck. I don't know how to say it in
Okay.
English. It's a tiny bad luck. I don't know. Simple bad luck. And then the major serious bad luck. So what you do if you are receiving bad luck, you just fold the paper and then you tie it on one of the strings near the entrance of the shrine.
Okay.
And then at the end of the welcoming of the new year, the staffs of the shrine are going to burn that.
Oh,
Ooh, but yeah,
okay.
that's how it goes. Okay, so another New Year stuff to welcome the year. This is what we usually hang on our doors.
Okay.
I forgot what this is called. Oh my god. So
Hold on.
this is to what?
I think I might have that in my notes somewhere.
Ooh, you got the notes. Please tell me what this is. So shame on me.
Oh
But yeah,
no! Oh, it just says New Year decoration.
okay, there you go. So this is New Year decoration. But yes.
There you go.
We usually put this on our doors, wherever it is, usually at the entrance of your door. If you live in an apartment, just outside your door or inside the genkan. The genkan is the area where you put on your shoes,
Right.
and you just hang it up. This fruit, the orange or the yuzu. No, this is not yuzu. This is just mikan. This is round, so it's like a Chinese belief of any round fruit is lucky.
Okay.
That's it, to welcome the good spirits and ward off the evil ones.
All right.
Another common good luck good luck decoration we have for the new year is what we call kadomatsu. So this kadomatsu is a traditional Japanese New Year decoration.
Okay.
And it's also like the one that you decorate on your wall. So it also welcomes good blessings and wards off evil spirits or evil elements. And to make these warding off of evil elements stronger, you have this tiny little cute lion, and it's called the shishimai.
So that's a lion,
Yeah, I know it's a lion.
right?
I thought it was a dragon, but it's a lion.
Okay. Okay. That's
So this tiny lion, you can see this on the, during the Chinese New Year as well, like the dragon dance. No, not the dragon dance, the lion dance.
Oh. Wait. Someone Thomas in the chat says
Yes.
Shime Kazari was a New Year decoration.
She makes us early? What?
Shime Kazari.
Shime Kazari. What? Shime Kazari. What's that?
I don't know. The thing that you hang on your door.
Oh, this one. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, this one.
Shime Kazari.
That's what Thomas says in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much, Thomas. Now going back, so this one is the shishimai. This is what you usually see when when you attend a Chinese New Year,
Right.
and they do the lion dance. So this one keeps the warding off of bad spirits stronger.
Okay.
And I usually place this. I know it's kind of weird, and stupid. I place this on my heater.
Okay. So it gives you good luck and heat.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good.
On fire. No, just kidding. Okay, so this bamboo represents the growth of all the good luck that you want to have. And it's positioned like this because it's like the, it's from the small ones going to the top.
Right.
So it's like, for the rest of the year, you can keep all your blessings going up.
Right.
And, if you have wishes, if you prayed to the, at the shrine, you just keep this with you in your house and hope that all your blessings will grow.
Right.
I asked Shingo if I can, keep this all year. And he says it's okay. Because, some people, after the celebration of the New Year, they just, throw all the decorations and stuff.
Right.
But it's cute. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right?
I agree.
Okay, so I think that's all for our New Year introduction stuff.
Nice. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, Yeah, usually we introduce only one or two objects, right?
Yeah, but like if you get all those things every New Year and you live there for like long time, you end up with like
Uh-huh.
with a crap load of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, right. But
I mean, I guess we get rid of some as you go, but
now that you mentioned that, so like this one, the omamori,
right,
people usually throw this before the year ends
right,
because most superstitious Japanese people believe that if they keep on keeping it
yeah. It's
for a long time,
it's like
it
it's
it
like
doesn't work anymore.
right. It's like they're pushing their luck kind of thing.
Yeah, or it just works on that particular year.
Hmm.
So this one, Shingo gave it to me, and this only works for 2020. It wouldn't work anymore for 2021.
All right.
That's what they believe in. But it's cute, so why not?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
keeping it.
why not? We'll post pictures of those on the Facebook page on Instagram, so we
Mm-hmm.
can have a better view of those
Yes.
after the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
Like we mentioned earlier today, we're going to talk about winter in Hokkaido and how cold it actually is. Like, I'm going to share everyone my experiences, how I got here, how it feels like, especially for someone who lived in the Philippines for 30 years,
Right.
suddenly switching her life in a like in a very cold, like seriously cold area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
It's kind of like you. It's almost like you go from one extreme to the other at this point.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, to begin with, what I'm wearing right now is what I mentioned a while ago. This is what I typically use when I go out,
Yeah.
especially in the peak
Of, of,
temperature of the season.
of winter. So for those
Yes.
listening to the show on audio platforms and don't have the image, Jenny is wearing a big coat, white coat. It has fur on the hood. I think it is a hood.
Yeah, it
That might
has.
be. It is a hood. All right. She has a big fluffy scarf.
Yes.
It looks like she's wearing something else under that, and she's wearing a nice woolen-ish toque
Uh-huh.
kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So that looks very warm and cozy. And myself, I'm just wearing my regular coat and a scarf, and I'm still freaking sweating.
Oh wow. Don't say that. No. Okay, I turned off my heater, so I'm totally okay.
All right, I should
But
have done the same then.
all right, so what is the temperature of Hokkaido in the winter? So to begin with, winter usually starts in November. This is the normal this is the normal winter temperature temperature measurement.
Right.
Yeah, so we start the cold temperature from November.
Okay, someone, someone,
Sometime,
someone in the
yeah.
chat, someone in the chat is asking how cold is it in your room right now?
So I'm looking at my phone right now. I turn off the heater and it's 0 degrees
It's
Celsius.
zero freaking degrees. It's actually literally snowing in your room right now.
It's literally. So if you guys think that I'm not that I'm joking, I am not. So I will show my mobile phone. I hope you guys will see it.
It's
Okay,
zero.
hold on.
Can you hear that, guys? It's zero. It
0 degrees.
is.
0 degrees, guys.
Okay,
Okay, 0 degrees Celsius.
that's cold.
Okay, so yeah, at the start of November in Sapporo, let's talk about Sapporo itself. It's usually around 10 degrees, right? 10 degrees in Sapporo. And if you talk about the countryside, it would be around 3 degrees.
Right. So
3 degrees Celsius.
I have a chart for that.
Yes.
Right. I'm gonna try to put this on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to zoom because this is a little too small. There we go. All right. I have a big chart here. Climate of
Okay.
Hokkaido. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you say it's around November.
Yes.
Yeah. And according to the chart,
Mm-hmm.
the average lowest temperature is at about 1 degree, and the highest temperature is about 9.
Yeah, so usually, okay, people might be confused about that. The 1 degree Celsius, all right, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. 1 degree Celsius, this is usually at night,
That makes
all
sense.
right?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay, and then the 9 degrees is when the weather is sunny,
Right,
all right? That means no snow, no wind whatsoever. It's like really clear, sunny sky.
right.
That's 9 degrees. But if it's cloudy, it turns to around 7 to 6 degrees Celsius.
Okay, which is pretty cold for November. It's like a lot colder
All
than
right.
over than it is here in November for sure.
Mm-hmm. At the time, it's not yet snowing, but there are some instances where, like in the middle of the day, there will have a little bit of snow, but
Yeah,
it looks like falling dandruff, if
right.
that's like the right description for that.
Yeah, they're kind of like flurries.
Not yet flurries, just
Not yet
like
flurries, okay.
not yet the flurry thing. And it's not yet literally covering the
Mm.
ground with white.
Right.
It's just like, like maybe once in a week there would have some dandruff showers. I call them dandruff showers
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. All right, so that's how it is in November. Next in December, early in the week. Oh, I usually sleep during the evening.
Right.
Like 4 years, in 4 years, I used to live in the countryside, right?
Right.
So it's very different from Sapporo. So there was one time
That's
I slept
that's
for the night.
that's something we should also mention, right? Is that the kind of temperatures you'll find in the big cities are going to be obviously a bit warmer than what you'd find in the countryside,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
you don't have the building and the population to heat things up.
Uh-huh. So yeah, going back, I was living in Kyogoku at that time. It was my first winter. And then that night, right, on the first week of December, I went to bed, and then the next day I was like, why is it cold? Why? And then I noticed that the skies were a little weird because it wasn't dark, but it wasn't also bright.
Okay.
Like there was a moon from behind or whatever. And then when I opened my window, I was like, oh my God. And bam, there was snow just like that.
It's like you're not looking and bam, you have snow everywhere.
I know. Yeah. It's like, what was that? Seriously, on my first winter experience, that night, clear skies, no falling dandruff, everything is clear. I can still see the grass. The next day, I open my window and bam, everything is what? Well, what?
That's funny. I have a similar story too. The very first year, it was actually my very first year moving to Canada. So
Okay.
that was a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And so it was my first winter here. And same thing, it was at the end of November,
Uh-huh.
just on my birthday. And that's why I remember it, because it was just on my birthday.
Oh wow.
And, like, winter in Canada, a lot of people think Canada is cold and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm in Vancouver. Trust me, it's not cold. I mean, it like, we say it's cold, but it's really nothing compared to other places, right? Like, especially up north. And when we had snow where I used to live before in Paris, like, everybody would just freak out. And the most we would see would be like half a centimeter of snow, and that was it. And people would freak out. So,
Okay.
um, so when I moved to Canada, that first year, on my birthday, the night before, it was kind of the same scenario as I was saying. Everything was clear, it was nice and sunny, and like, it was like not warm, but like, it was fine. And the
Okay.
morning of my birthday, I woke up to go outside to walk the dog, and I opened the door, and there was snow up to my knees.
Wow.
The
Snow up to your knees. Wow.
Yeah, the first year I moved to Canada, we got dumped on snow. The country, that part of the country, hadn't seen that much snow in like 50 years.
Whoa. Okay.
In like one night, and I'm like, Okay, what did I get myself into there? What is going on? I thought it wasn't snowing that much here usually.
Exactly, right? Like, how did you feel? Like the night before, everything was clear, and then you woke up and bam, like somebody made a stage out of it. Like some dwarves just put some snow or everything, and
Yeah.
Santa Claus just poured all the white little things in there and covered the trees and everything with white. How did you feel?
It was crazy though, and because like no, I wasn't used to seeing that much snow, right? And you
Right?
probably feel the same way too. It's like what, and on top of that, because of where I am right now, it's like we're not used to that much snow, right? Like
Right.
we have a little bit of snow here and there, and I always complain about it because I don't like it. Uh, but that particular year, it came out of nowhere, and nobody was
Right.
ready for it. It was a chaos for days.
Okay, my feeling at that time, because I literally had no experience with snow.
Hmm.
I live in the Philippines. We don't have snow in the Philippines. The coldest temperature we ever experienced during winter is around 20 degrees, and that's it.
Wow.
20 degrees.
That's sometimes what we get in summer here.
Yeah, exactly. So the feeling, right? The feeling of opening your window and seeing everything in white, it felt like you're in a theater, right? You're in a theater, you're one of the audiences, and then the theater curtain just closes,
Yep,
and then lights are off. And then when the curtain opens, there's a new
it's
stage.
a new stage. Yeah,
It's like that feeling.
that's
It's
funny.
like that feeling. Like, what? Whoa, whoa! Yeah, that's I couldn't explain how I felt. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know if I was going to be happy about it, if I was going to be excited about it because it's my first experience, or was I going to be scared about it because I didn't know how I would feel once I stepped my feet out of
Yeah.
the door.
Plus the cold. You're not used to the cold. What is
Exactly.
you were not used to the
Right?
cold.
All right. Okay, so yes, December is usually the start of the snow. Like we're talking about continuous falling of snow. That's during first week of December. And then in the middle of December, that would be the time where almost every day the snow is just falling. There were also some experiences I had where it was like a whole week of snowfall
Like non-stop.
nonstop.
Wow.
It it is okay. It is okay if it's just snowfall, but if there's wind,
Ooh.
oh my god, the feeling is like. So I'm walking out of my my apartment, and then I have to clean my car and stuff like that. And the snow is just kissing my face. It's not a nice feeling. Not at all.
It's not a good one.
It's not a nice feeling. Why? Because these little tiny cold flakes kissing your face. You're trying to be warm, and this little bitchy little flakes are trying to ruin your body warmth. You know, like what are you doing? I prepared enough to keep warm. Well, why? You know, and one thing is that this scarf right here, it helps you cover your face
Right.
like this. Like that. Okay. I'm not kidding. There were times that I literally had to cover my face like so I don't have to tie it like this.
Good.
We have a version where what the hell? Okay, I have to take this out first. So we have a version where we have to cover our faces like this. Like that. And then we cover our head like that. Yeah, there.
All right. Hold on. Don't move. Don't move.
What?
All right. This is gonna be the thumbnail for the video.
Oh! Okay, so yeah, if it's too cold, like if it keeps on, if the snow keeps falling, um, you can have a nosebleed. There's a possibility that you
Oh
can have a
wow.
nosebleed because the air is really dry.
Right.
and it's terribly cold. And if it's even windy, it will even make your your nose hard to breathe because
Okay.
it's just so dry and you can cough.
Yeah.
So if you cough, it will be hard to breathe. There's a possibility you can have an asthma if you're asthmatic. So you need to keep your mouth warm by wearing a mask,
Right.
or you wear your
The
scarf like
scarf.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, to keep yourself warm. And then it's better if you wear your hood like this to keep your entire head warm, because especially if you don't have a hood like this, there's a possibility you'll have an earache,
Right.
right?
Because your
And that's very painful.
your ears are gonna be frozen.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so that's enough for December, right? For
Yeah.
January, right? January would be one of the coldest. Not yet the coldest, but one of the coldest, right?
Okay.
So if we look at the chart, January starts from -1 at the warmest
Right.
and -7 for the coldest.
Right.
This is Sapporo itself. All right. This is Sapporo City, Asaikawa City. Most of these temperatures are usually in the city. But if we're talking about the countryside, it could be colder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I remember back on a January in Kyogoku, yeah, it was just really, snowing for the entire week. And I checked my phone, and outside on a cloudy morning, it was around -5.
That's cold.
Yeah, it was -5, and then that's in the morning, right? And then when it goes nighttime, all right, it's usually around -10.
-10.
Yeah, -10. Yeah, -10. I don't dare to go outside now.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't
No,
either.
no. So that's in the countryside. We're talking about the
Right.
countryside.
Right.
So it's January right now. To be fair, the snow these the winter this year is not so bad.
Okay.
But maybe if I lived in Sapporo for like a couple of years ago, maybe at night it would be like this: -7, -8.
Wow.
So yeah, and -1 for the morning. Or maybe if we're lucky, it would be 0 or 1 degree if we're lucky.
Okay. Okay. So, like
Yeah.
you said this year you're getting a slightly warmer winter so far, right? Like,
Yeah, we're
which
gonna
is,
talk about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not something very typical, I guess.
Yeah, and I have some concerns about that, but we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
later. Now, for February is the coldest weather, usually on the first to second week of the month. And this is where Sapporo has this winter festival. We call
Right.
it Snow Festival. And it is one of the most popular events that we have here in Hokkaido. Usually it starts from the 1st of February until the 11th of February. We're probably going to have the same schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they set it at February and not on Christmas Day is because, as what I mentioned a while ago, February is the coldest. That means there's, like a bigger chance to preserve the sculptures, the ice sculptures,
Right.
right?
That makes sense.
And if we look at the chart, the hottest, the warmest possible temperature we have in Sapporo is 0 degrees Celsius, like what we have right now, and a -7 at night. So this is in Sapporo itself. In Kyohoku, oh my God, in Kyohoku. My experience was in the morning, it was around -7 in the morning. And at night, it reached -17.
Holy dude, that's like
Yeah, God.
it's literally frozen all the time. You're actually living in the freezer.
Yes, yes.
This is not okay.
It's not. It's not. It's not. I have to tell you guys, this does not even do justice.
Yeah.
Not at all. I remember I had to like wear a thinner wool type gloves, and then I'm gonna wear this.
Wow.
So I had to do that, especially if if I commute going to Sapporo when I was, when I was living in Kyoto. At that time, when I was dating Shingo from a distance, because we were having a long distance relationship at that time, we had to meet halfway in Sapporo, and from there I couldn't drive because it's just way too dangerous to drive
Right.
in the snow, especially for someone who doesn't really have an experience driving in the snow for years.
Right.
So I had to take the train, and the schedules the train schedules in Kyoto takes about a 2-hour gap. So if I'm going to meet him at, like, say for example, around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I have to leave I have to leave Kyogoku around 8 o'clock in the
Wow.
morning, because I have to go to the town in Kuchan to take the train. We don't have trains in Kyogoku town. We have a bus to get
Right.
there, to get to the station. And from there, we take the train, and it's like a 2-hour travel distance.
Yeah. 12 right.
Yeah, 2-hour ride. And yeah, that's the time I'm going to meet with my boyfriend. But if I miss the train, I'm gonna have to wait for another couple of hours.
That's not cool. Like, not
It's
only
not cool. It's
not
not
only
cool.
would you have to wait like another 2 hours for the train, but you'd have to wait for 2 hours in a freezer.
Yes, thank you for that. Okay, so
This is not okay.
when I was,
Don't.
it's not okay.
The moral of the story: do not miss your train.
Exactly right. So I don't. Sometimes I don't take the bus. Sometimes I take the car and then I park at the station.
Right.
Speaking of that, do we have a picture of my car,
Wait.
Florent?
Do we actually?
There was one time. Yeah, there was one time it was really, really snowy, and I have to, I have to get ready for my car and everything. I have to warm it up so the snow would melt. And then lo and behold, I was like, "Where is my car? What? Somebody car napped my car. Somebody took my car. Where's my car?"
Oh, here it is. That's so weird.
And I was like, "Bam! My car is still there, but literally buried in the snow." Do we have a picture of that?
Okay. So I have a picture of your car. I don't know if that's the right one, but
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, so we have a picture of, like, literally buried
yeah.
in the snow, and it's just really white.
I mean,
Like,
like, if for those who were here early enough in the show before we actually started, we played a little video before the show where you see
yeah, exactly.
Jenny kind of shoveling around her car, and like you don't see it on the picture right now, but on the top of her car in the video, there's literally like a foot and a half of snow just piled up on the car.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, that, if I remember, that was even on a March.
Wow.
Was it on a March? Maybe not. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's on no, it was on a February. It was on a February. Yeah, it was February. Okay, so yeah, going back to the story, I saw, like, my, oh God, my car was literally buried. And if I remember, I tried to poke the snow, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's still snow." And I literally just did that. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's still snow. What?" Okay, I punched the snow, and the layer was like this thick, and
Wow.
it was still snow.
Until
I
until
had to, like,
until you reached your car.
what?
Until you actually could touch your car.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, I had to, like, literally have to get a shovel to take out the snow and everything. And it's not just that. You have to take out the snow on the sides of the car, because
Right.
you have to move your car outside, right? Because, like, how can you drive, like, how can you move your car without shoveling all the
Right.
edges of the snow.
Right.
Dude, it took me an hour to do that. It took me an hour. It wasn't funny.
I'm sure it wasn't at the time. It is now, though.
Yeah, of course, it was funny now, but dude, while I was doing that, I'm like, this is crazy. Why do I live here? Why? This is not happening in my life. But yes. So yeah, and not just that. So you take out the snow, and once you take out the snow, the windshield, right?
Mhm.
The windshield is frozen, ladies and gentlemen. It's frozen. I'm like, how the hell am I going to drive if my windshield is covered in ice? So I have to, like, take out all those things. I have to, warm my car. I have to thaw the snow. I have to do everything. I have to keep myself warm in the car, because once you open the door, right, it's even colder than your freezer.
Yeah.
Colder than your freezer, baby. It's terrible. And I'm like, why? This is not right. And I have to do that. Guys, can you imagine? I have to do that every day to go to school. Why? Yes. That's one of my experiences. Just the car itself.
This is just the car.
Just the car. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to what I'm wearing.
All right.
Let's move on to what I'm wearing.
Someone in the chat says he's been through that as well. Everything you've said. Zero lives in upstate New York in the States, where they also have
wow.
a lot of snow and crazy temperatures. So
I didn't know that. Wow.
similar experiences on that side of the world too over there.
Oh wow. Wow.
I've never been to upstate New York, but like from what I've seen and from what I heard from people, yeah, winter over there are also pretty extreme.
Oh yes. Now about my wardrobe. The first layer I had, well, was it the first layer?
Thomas
So this
Thomas in the chat says, wouldn't it be faster just to walk to work?
yes and no. It really depends on the area of your workplace. Now here's the thing.
Like for you.
Okay? Here's the thing. I live like a 5-minute drive
Okay.
from my school, and if I walk it through, walk it through? If I walk it through the school, it takes about 10 minutes. It could be okay if you are used to the cold, but remember, we're talking about a 0 degrees Celsius around here. It's not really funny walking to school in just 10 minutes. Yes, it's just 10 minutes. It's just 10 minutes, but guys, my hands turn purple in 5 minutes.
Also, you guys have to realize that she's coming from the Philippines, where they don't know what cold is. And
Exactly.
And even though she has been living there for 5 years, it's not like she's been there all her life, right? So she's not exactly used to it.
I'm not happy about winter unless I'm gonna go snowboarding. Seriously, yeah. I mean, I'm not happy about it. Okay, so yeah, there was one time I literally walked to school because my car, couldn't, the engine of my car couldn't start.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm doomed. I can't walk. I walked. It was not funny because at that time it was windy and I had to bring my backpack and my textbooks, and I had to literally wear my shoes. Literally had to wear my shoes like this. It's not a comfortable pair of boots. And I have to walk through the snow, and it's not even funny because I have to watch out what I am stepping on,
right,
because some parts are slippery.
Right.
you don't want to lose your balance and your kids will see you, oh, Jennifer Sensei.
Just face planted in the snow.
Exactly. Like you have to watch everything because, you don't know what you're stepping at because, there's like layers of snow and it's not easy walking in the snow. You walk like, you don't walk like this. You walk like this, But I'm going to school.
Yeah.
But yes.
This is one of the reasons why I also hate snow here. And keep in mind, we don't get a lot of snow here. Like the story I was talking about earlier was like one of the most snow I've seen since I've lived here. Like we've had a couple of years where we had a lot, but it doesn't usually go that high. But like, even if it goes like about, I don't know, halfway like to my car, like that bothers me so much because I usually walk everywhere I go. I don't know because I live really close to work and stuff like that, so I walk a lot. But yeah, walking in the snow is a pain as it is. So I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it is.
I can't even imagine when you have that much snow.
You wouldn't want to imagine anyway.
I don't wanna. It makes me mad just thinking about it.
God. Well, when I didn't have any experience with snow, when I was a kid, I mean, Santa Claus is very famous for kids, and we all know that Santa Claus lives in the North Pole.
Right.
And I was imagining myself when I was a kid. I was like, I wanna live in the North Pole with Santa Claus because I think the snow is cool. But I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Okay, let's talk about the layers of my clothes. So
Right.
this
All
is
right. So like, what kind of stuff do you wear in that kind of environment? Let's go.
Number one is please wear wool. This is wool. This is wool. My gloves are wool. Wool is a very warm material. It keeps you warm, and your body heat multiplies the warmth itself.
Right.
Even if even if there's a snowfall, it can go wet. It can get wet,
Yep.
but it wouldn't affect your body.
Right.
Right? I think it absorbs a little bit like a sponge, but it doesn't get through your skin.
Right.
All right. This is a windproof material. Okay. So I got this from, where did I get this? I got this from Gap. There we go. I got this from Gap.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is the outer layer of the jacket I have. It has a layer of cotton inside, and it's covered with, is this polyester? I'm not sure, but this is a windbreaker.
Right.
When you say windbreaker, it means when there's like a very strong wind, it wouldn't get into your body.
Right.
Because if you wear an ordinary coat, if it's not a windbreaker, the wind gets into your body, and that's not comfortable. All right.
Yeah.
So this warms your face. This warms your neck. It keeps you warm, right?
Right.
So if I'm gonna remove that, so this is, what do you call this? I forgot what you call. Down jacket. Is this down jacket? No, it's not. No. Never mind. So this hood, it keeps you warm as well.
I just got the coat.
Okay, yeah, coat. So this one keeps you warm as well, especially it will protect you from the wind, right? So I'm gonna remove that. Okay, there. So this is a down jacket. It's a thinner version of the coat we have a while ago.
Okay.
This also keeps you warm, and if you want to be fashionable and if you want to wear a thinner coat, you can use this inside, like in the inner layer of your body, right? And then if it really gets cold, we usually use I'm not promoting here.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Sorry?
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So if it's really, really, really cold, like, if you're gonna go out snowboarding or whatever, if you're gonna be exposed to the outdoors for more than an hour, we use heat pads.
Okay.
All right. So we usually call this kairo. I don't know why. So this is a box of Hokkaido.
You can actually buy them by the box. There are 30 of them in that box.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Uh, okay. Now that you mentioned that, I thought it was normal.
Because
So
no,
we use,
because
yeah.
like those are kind of like heat pads kind of thing, like
Yes, they are
right?
heat pads. Yeah.
And like when here in Canada, when we go buy heat pads, you go to the store or even to the gas station and you buy you buy like one or two or maybe a pack of five. Not a box of
Uh-huh.
30. This is insane.
Dude, yeah, it's a box of 30, right? Yeah, this is 30 pieces over here.
Yeah.
And anything else? Yeah, I guess that's it. So, we have different sizes. Well, I bought different sizes. So this one is for your pockets.
Okay.
So you just open it up, and then some versions they don't have tape. So this one has tape
All right.
right over here.
Also can
Okay, let's just remove this.
stick it and stuff.
Exactly. So you take off the cover of the sticker, and this
Yeah.
is a very sticky material, and then you place it at least in this layer,
Yep.
and then it just gets automatically warm. And then
Oh.
after that, you wear this layer,
Okay.
and then it multiplies the heat in your body. All right, we're gonna remove that because it's getting warm.
Right.
And then that's sometimes you can just put that in the pocket if you wanna walk, and then you want to put your hands inside your pocket, that's fine.
Hmm.
And then we also have a bigger version of that. All right, we also have a bigger version of that, which is the same thing. And then sometimes I put it on my torso over here to keep myself warm.
All right.
All right, and then we also have a version for the feet.
For the feet. Like,
Yes.
do you stick that on your foot or do you put it in your boot?
That's a good question. So you can see over here, you place it on under your sock, under
Okay.
your sock.
Okay.
So let's do a demonstration. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna open it. All right, we're gonna open it.
All right.
And this is two pairs. Okay, two pairs.
All right.
We're gonna remove the tape.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna show my foot. Wait, hold on. Wait. Okay,
Whoa.
and then you put it over here,
All right.
and that's just about it.
And then you put your shoes on. Wow. Okay.
And then you put your shoes on. Yeah. So this is necessary if the snow is above 30 centimeters, or if your boots cannot handle the cold. Okay, so I'm not promoting again. Hashtag not promoting. These boots are Columbia brand. Yeah, it's Columbia.
Okay.
And it can handle negative 37 degrees of temperature,
All right.
which is fine. I mean, I am totally safe with that. But the downside of this is if you are, if you're walking on snow that is above your knee, there's
Right.
a possibility the snow will get inside.
That makes sense. Yeah. And
And-
that's how you get cold.
Exactly.
Right.
And I had a lot of experience of that. So I literally have to wear these foot pads.
Yeah.
Foot pads, yeah. And it's very helpful. Now,
I mean,
if you guys are,
it
yeah,
sounds like it. Everybody in the chat is like, "Oh, I need those," and I'm sitting here. I had no idea those were a thing.
it's a thing in Hokkaido.
All
Welcome
right.
to Hokkaido.
Okay.
Okay, so how much are these things? Again, I'm not promoting. Okay, so you can buy these at the convenience store, and we all know that convenience stores are very common in Japan.
Right. Convenience stores
Um,
in Japan are actually convenient.
Yes, literally. So you can buy these for 200 yen. 200 yen, that's around
That's
$2.
what, $2, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$2. And a box of this, it's a bit cheaper, I think. This costs around
All
$7.
right,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
$7 to $10.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are 30 pieces, so you better buy a box.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that
Yeah.
people just buy your boxes of heat pads. Someone in the chat says you find pretty much everything wholesale now, but I don't know. I don't buy wholesale, dude. I don't know how things work in real life.
I forgot to mention. So these foot pads are up to 5 hours.
Right.
5 hours of effectiveness. Effective.
Okay. I mean,
It's effective for 5 hours.
it works for 5 hours, which is pretty good.
It works for 5 hours. Yeah. To me, living in the countryside, this is useless. 5 hours is useless. I need to at least have 12 hours.
12 hours. Okay, I want to know what kind of stuff they put in there for it to be warm from 12 hours. Do they put like uranium or something like that? So it's like
That's a good question.
so like there's like some kind of like nuclear reaction happening in there for 12 hours. I'm so confused.
I think it's coal. I don't know.
I mean-
Carbon. I'm not sure what material is keeping things warm, but maybe it's carbon.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
If someone is a major in chemistry in the chat, please let us know how that works.
Okay, so there are some details in here in the heat pad where you cannot wear. I mean, you shouldn't wear it like this. So, okay. The first one is being naked and placing it on your skin.
All right, okay. So placing
Of course, you shouldn't do that.
placing it on your
Don't-
bare skin is not okay.
All right. Next, sleeping using a blanket and then wearing it and then placing it
Right.
under your blanket. You should not do that because
Right.
it will burn your skin literally.
Mm.
All right. And you will have, probably first-degree burn.
Wow.
Okay. What else? This one is putting it on a very thin layer of a shirt
Okay.
because again it will still burn your skin.
Right.
All right.
Like you need to stick it on something that's fairly consistent, right? It has to be like fairly thick
Exactly.
Because-
Exactly. Something like this layer.
because
Like this layer
right.
is yeah.
because it is warm, so it will go through.
Exactly. And then the last one is please do not use it while you are sitting under the kotatsu. So a kotatsu is like a table, like a Japanese
right.
table, and
That
then you
thing,
have a
alright.
heater. You have a heater underneath the table, right? And there's
Right.
a cloth.
Right.
So that's called kotatsu. Do not wear these when you are under a kotatsu because come on, guys, you're not stupid. I mean, you don't want to burn yourselves.
You're gonna catch on fire. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, your skin is gonna catch on fire, definitely. And unless you want to be like Mr. Burns. I mean, what am I? Oh my God, this is getting hot. What?
What is it?
Yeah, literally.
Isn't it supposed to get hot?
I mean, well, remember that I strap it out
Yeah.
and it just warms itself. It feels so good. But yeah, okay, guys. It's totally safe if you
Like use it
hold it like
like
this.
as hand
It's totally
warmers.
okay.
Yeah.
It's totally okay if you hold it like this. But please do not hold it for like more than an hour. Don't. All right. So, like when I usually go out and if it's really, really, really cold, I just hold them.
Yeah.
And after that, I take it off. And then probably after a couple more hours, I'm going to hold it again to keep myself warm. But, the good news about this is a lot of places in Hokkaido are warm. So the only the only cold areas in Hokkaido are literally outside. Once you go to a
Right.
convenience store, once you get in your car, if you heated it up, once you go to the subways,
Right.
it's pretty warm. But sadly, if you are in the general train stations, like the JR train stations, these are not the subways. It's an open station,
It's an
so
open station, yeah. So it gets cold.
yeah, exactly. I remember when I was in Teine station. Teine is one of the mountainous places in Hokkaido, and I was like, it was in March, right? It was in March, and I was going to visit one of my friends. We had to meet at the Teine station,
Mm-hmm.
and once I arrived at the station, I was like, oh my god, it's freaking cold because of the wind. And I was wearing, I'm not kidding, I was wearing the usual clothes that I wore,
Yep.
this down jacket, and I was wearing these pads and everything. I was still freezing, man. I was still freezing. I'm like, how do I call the emergency? Hello?
It's like, hello, I'm freezing to death. And then
No, guys.
and they're gonna be like,
Help.
just deal with it. Use more pads.
頑張ってください. Okay, the last layer of this is my normal clothes. All right, so it's getting warm here now. It's getting hot in here, but yeah. Okay, this is the last layer. Okay, and these are my normal clothes, but still, this is made up of. This is wool, right? No, it's not. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know,
it's
man.
wool, but I'm not gonna do a striptease. But to give you guys an
Sadly for
idea,
us,
to give you guys an idea, I still have a thin layer
right?
underneath. And you know what's the last layer. Okay.
Do we though?
Yes.
Oh, fine. I guess.
Okay, so how many layers? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, plus my scarf. That's 5 layers.
That's way too many.
Well, probably way too many for some people.
Yeah.
But it's enough if you live outside Japan, if you're not used to the cold, and then you just want to have a vacation in Hokkaido, I would recommend please wear 5 layers.
Especially if you come there in the winter, make sure you bring a bunch of warm clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now with my pants, okay, I'm gonna embarrass myself, but no, I'm not gonna do a striptease. So what I usually do is I wear 2 layers of stockings.
Okay. All right.
2 layers of stockings, and these stockings are made up of wool material as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or if not, just like a double layer of stockings. And then I wear thick socks.
Right.
And then I wear my pants.
Right.
So those are a total of, including the socks, those are a total of 4 layers.
Yeah.
But again, to some people who are used to the cold, like people in Alaska, people in Wisconsin, people in the,
I mean, like even those people are like living in very cold areas all the time. They also wear a lot of protection stuff like that, right? It's kind of common. Like I mean, like wearing several layers like under your pants and stuff like that is not necessarily uncommon. Even here, I know some people who do that. Some people get cold very easily. I have a friend I have known for a long time here. She is always cold as well, and in winter she kind of does the same thing that you do. Like she has a coat, she has a scarf and stuff like that, and like the undercoat thing. She wears 2 undercoats usually.
What?
Like she has like the same kind that you have, the purple thing that you have, and she has a sleeveless version of it that she wears on top of that.
What?
And then she wears
That's crazy.
And then she wears a coat on top of it. She's from India. So it's super hot.
Understandable.
And even though she's been in Vancouver for like, I don't know, 30 or 40 years.
30 or 40 years, and she's still not used to it. Wow.
And she still hates the cold. So every time it gets cold, she's like, she goes out. And then, and then you walk around like this. Because you have so many layers.
I know the feeling, especially if you're wearing a backpack, like on my way to school. Because like this year I moved to Sapporo.
Yeah.
And in Sapporo, since I live in the city, the company doesn't provide me a car, so I take the train to do that. I have to bring a lot of stuff, like my laptop, my 3 textbooks to school, because I change schools twice in a week. And I have to bring my backpack, and it's really difficult because the layers of the jacket is really thick. I couldn't feel my shoulders. Right. So once I put on my backpack, I have to literally jump. Yeah. I have to literally jump just to put put it in my sleeve, put it on
Mm-hmm.
my shoulder, and do that on
Yeah.
the other side, and then I have to pick up another bag for my textbooks, and I have to carry my laptop. It's a very uncomfortable feeling,
Yeah.
literally.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't envy you. You know, like I always complain here in Vancouver. Every time we get snow, every time it gets all cold, whatever, like makes me so mad. I freaking hate snow. And but yeah, but you have it like way worse. Like
Yeah.
so, like it snowed here, um, yesterday. Actually,
Oh, okay.
it's not here yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Which somehow I had a feeling it would, even though it wasn't supposed to yet. It was supposed to snow during the weekend, but not yesterday. And so when I
Okay.
when I woke up for work yesterday and I got out to go to work, there's like about an inch of snow on the ground. I'm like, well, shit. It was it was just an inch. It's just I was not prepared for it, right? So like,
Oh, wow.
and usually when it snows, I try to leave for work a bit early because it takes a bit longer to walk in the snow, right? I'm like, well, goddamn. And then the whole morning, it just dumped on us. The whole freaking
Oh
morning.
no.
And then at one point it stopped and it got cleared out real fast, especially like where I live. Like, no, they shoveled everything, they cleared up everything, and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started snowing again. And in like a matter of half an hour, we got back to like an inch of snow. And it was like, what? It
What?
was like, what is going on? And by the time I got home, we had like about a foot worth of snow, so quite a bit. Uh,
In just 30 minutes?
In like, so between the time that they cleared out and then the time I went home and we had a foot of snow, that was maybe like 2 hours.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was not happy about it. I was like, what is this thing? This is not supposed to happen. And on top of that, they were like, oh, it's gonna keep snowing all during the weekend. So be ready for like a couple feet of snow over the weekend, and it's gonna get to like -10 by Wednesday. I'm like, this is not okay. I'm in Vancouver. It's not supposed to be happening here.
Exactly.
But the funny thing is, today I went out in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. There was not a single cloud in the sky. It was
Oh, wow.
sunny and everything was gone.
What?
And I'm like, that's some level of bullshit right here.
Yeah, I totally understand how you feel. And yes, it's true, guys. Sometimes, oh, and I have to tell you, winter literally affects your mood.
It really does. It does.
It affects your mood. Back in the Philippines, it's most of the time sunny. If not sunny, it's cloudy, but it's still warm.
Right.
You know, like people in the Philippines are very happy people. We smile a lot, not just because of our culture, but because the weather affects us,
It
right?
does.
Um, I have to tell you, it was my first experience being depressed, and I couldn't understand why I was depressed on my first winter. And to give you a description, like to describe how I felt, I was just crying without any reasons, and I was locked in my room because I couldn't go out and
Right.
everything. Like I couldn't see anything. It was snowing hard at that time, and it was really cold. Even no matter how much I turn on my heater, at that time I had an electric heater. Guys, electric heaters suck. They're not fun
No,
because
they're not
they
good.
don't keep you warm. Gas heaters are much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like I was crying. I was being a drama queen. I was like calling my family. I was like, this sucks. I want to go home. This is not right. No. And I didn't know why I was like that. And I realized one of my friends who lived in not Ireland, in Scotland, she explained to me during winter you lack vitamin D, and
Right.
vitamin D is what you get from the
From
sunlight.
the sun. Mhm.
Vitamin D keeps you up, keeps you glowing. It keeps you, like it gives you, it makes you creative. It gives you ideas on what to do during the day. It inspires you. And the fact that you lack vitamin D in the winter, it just keeps you down.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It is a thing. It is a thing. Thomas in the chat that explains why Flo is always so grumpy. I mean,
Oh, Lauren.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He also asks in the chat, are fireplaces common in Japan in households, like in your house and stuff? Is fireplace a thing?
That's a good question. Yes, we have fireplaces only in old-fashioned houses,
Right.
but recently, because it causes fire most of the time, we have the gas heaters
Right.
or either gas heaters or electric heaters.
Okay. So not
Mm-hmm.
it's not really fireplaces. Like even a
The fireplaces thingy are usually the old-fashioned houses and hotels.
right. Okay.
But the interesting thing about these fireplaces is they have glass.
Yeah, it's protective glass, right? So you don't go in there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Um, one of the type of fireplaces we find here
Mm-hmm.
are like they're basically just gas fireplaces.
Oh.
So like they're designed in a way that it looks like a regular fireplace, and there's like wood logs and stuff like that, even though they're not made of wood. And you basically just switch a button and it goes on, and you have the flame from like so like it looks like a regular fireplace, but it's actually a gas thing.
Right.
And same, there's a glass window on top of it, so you can actually go in there for safety reasons, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, in the house I am in right now, we actually have a real traditional fireplace, which is really cool.
Well, yeah, going back to, like being gloomy and all, it's real. I mean, it's a real thing. Like you, Florence, like we had to deal with maybe I would say depression. We had to deal with depression for months because the weather really affects
It really does.
our feelings, right?
It really does,
And
especially in the winter, like in places where like where you are and where I am, is that in the winter the days are so much shorter as well, right? You don't see the sun as much.
yeah,
And then it gets cold and it's
yeah,
annoying and you have to deal with the
yeah.
snow, and so yeah, I totally can see it.
Even getting up is also a task for me because during the summer I can wake up as early as 5 o'clock in the morning to prepare myself for work, or like if I want to travel early. But during winter it's so difficult, and during the weekends the earliest I can wake up is around 7 and it's still even dark.
Yeah, I believe you.
Right?
It's the same here. It doesn't get light until like 7:30ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets dark by like 4:30 in the afternoon. It's just ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I had to struggle with, because Florida and I are artists. So sometimes I spend a day drawing or writing an article on my blog, and then, like I couldn't get the mood for that. I'm like, no, I just wanna be grumpy, or I just wanna sulk in a corner, or I just wanna watch
That's me.
Netflix all day.
I don't
What
watch
was that? Did you fart?
No, I said that's me. That's me being grumpy and sulking in the corner.
Well, guess what? We're best friends, so I get grumpy too. So yeah, I have a kotatsu in my room, and it really keeps me warm. And sometimes it makes me lazy because it's warm, it's comfortable, and I just wanna binge on Netflix, and I just don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But please do not do that, guys. Try to be creative, please. And if possible, please take vitamin D.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you don't have any supply of vitamin D, like sunlight or, anything that gives you warmth, please get vitamin D. It really, perks you up. Oh, also, and let's not talk about depression. Let's talk about the good side of winter.
Also, just before we do that, Amber in the chat says grumpy is a lifestyle.
Grumpy is a lifestyle. That's true.
I can agree to that. I've been doing it for a while.
Speaking of grumpy as a lifestyle, let's talk about the length of winter in Hokkaido.
Okay.
So the usual length is from November until April.
Okay.
So that's November, yes.
So I remember you telling me a story about that not too long ago. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanna, because you said the usual length.
Yeah, the usual,
All
yes.
right. So the usual length for you or the actual length?
Ah, the usual.
All right.
And for me.
And for you. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So that starts in November, December. So should we start in December? December,
I
January.
I don't know. You're the one who lives there.
Okay, so November,
Okay.
December, January, February, March, April. So yes, on my first winter, it still snowed in April.
It's still not an April. This is crazy.
It's terrible, man. I'm like, I was already like, can you imagine 6 months, like half a year of snow? And you're like wishing for spring, you're wishing for flowers, you're wishing for green. But for the entire 6 months, everything is white. And you're like, oh, it's April, yay, it's gonna be spring, and it's still snowing.
Oh no.
And I'm like, like my sister, I remember Chloe, she's like calling me, hey, we're going to the beach. It's April. And I'm like, you. She's like, why isn't it summer there? I'm like, we're taking the weekend to the beach, outside Manila. And I'm like, yo. She's like, what's the weather there now? Can you show me? And we were doing this video call, and I just I flipped my camera, and I was like, here, see it, you little, and she's like, wow, still snowing, you crazy. But yeah, I feel
Oh
bad,
no.
man. Now, if you guys are wondering when the cherry blossoms bloom, it's usually on May.
Okay.
And if we're unlucky, it's on the first week of June.
Ooh.
Dune, my people, Dune.
That's so
But yes,
late.
it takes a long time. Yeah, it's so late. But usually in Tokyo, yeah, the cherry blossoms bloom around the last week of March until the second week of April, or
Okay.
probably just the first week of April. But yes, our springtime is late, and our autumn is early.
Okay.
And oh yeah, speaking of autumn, I was telling the story to Florent a few days ago.
Right.
I was like, autumn in Hokkaido is very short. It takes about 2 weeks to see the beautiful reds and greens and browns and orange leaves of autumn. And during those times, I was like, "Oh wow, the beauty of autumn is really astounding. I have to take pictures." But I'm like, I'm so lazy. I was like, probably the next week. Then next week passed, and I'm like, maybe next week. And then the third week, it's gone. I'm like, whoa, where are the leaves?
Just like that, in 2 hours, it's gone. That
Yeah,
was
no, 2 weeks,
fall.
2 weeks, 2 weeks,
I-
and 2 weeks. But yeah, autumn is only 2 weeks in Hokkaido, probably 3 weeks in Sapporo, and then on the following week, the leaves are gonna fall off,
yeah.
all of it. And the snow is not yet falling, but you can feel the breeze is getting colder and drier and
Right.
stronger. And then 2 more weeks, bam,
Then you get dumped on
it's
snow.
white. Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's move on to the good side of winter.
Right. There are some good sides to winter, as hard as it is to believe.
Do you have any something to say about winter in Canada, in Vancouver?
Well, winter in here in Vancouver, a lot of people complain about it. I'm one of those,
Okay, I'm not surprised.
obviously. Um, it's really not that bad, to be honest. It's really not that bad. Here in Vancouver,
Okay.
I'm pretty lucky in that our winters are not super cold and our summers are not super hot. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, we have a nice middle ground, which is good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, we do get into the negative temperatures once in a while, but usually it doesn't last very long. It's like for a day or two here and there, and it's not too crazy. So, like, I'm okay with that. The only thing we have here for winter, it's kind of all the time, really. It's just it rains a lot. That's all.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It rains a lot in winter.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It rains a lot all the time in Vancouver.
And for a grumpy guy like you, do you enjoy the rain?
I don't mind the rain. I don't mind the rain as long as it doesn't change into snow.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, but okay, I would probably share the blizzard, the snow,
Yeah.
the snowstorm. Probably a little later. Let's talk about the good side of snow.
Right.
So I shared some pictures of of snow in Kyogoku
Mm.
to Florent, and Florent, please share some some photos of winter in Kyogoku. We usually have like extreme snowfall, so usually the snow stays on the
Right.
ground, and sometimes for the preparation of festival in Sapporo, they get the snow from the countryside.
Right.
One of them is in my place in Kyogoku, and
Mm-hmm.
as you can see from the photos, yeah, we literally have loads of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
And if you want to be creative about it, you can do a snow angel.
Snow angel, yeah. Shit. Hold on, I need to find that photo of Snow Angel.
Yeah, so I tried my first snow angel back in 2015
Mm-hmm.
on a December 24th of December. My sister was like telling me, "Hey, why don't you do the snow angel thing?" And I'm like, "But that's only for kids." And she's like, "Yeah, but this is your first winter. Why don't you try it and take a photo of yourself?"
Right?
I did, and it was fun. It was fun, no doubt. And I was
Mm.
wearing the same winter outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have it with you?
Okay, hold on. Let me switch back to that.
Okay.
Show some snow in Kyogoku because
Yeah.
I found the pictures. I was not prepared.
Oh. All right.
Okay, I'm prepared now. I got it.
Okay, so what are you showing right now?
I'm showing the snow in Kyogoku right now.
There was also I also took some pictures of like the icicle that got frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that with you? With there's a picture of a truck, and then there's a house, and then there are icicles from the house, and like the figure of the. Do you have that?
I might. Yeah. I actually did show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
one.
I really find that beautiful because we don't have that in the Philippines, and taking pictures of the snow, it's a wonderful experience because like it's so picturesque that any ordinary phone camera can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took my photos from my again, not promoting, from my Samsung S7. Was that my S? No, at that time it was my S5.
Okay.
I took photos of that from using my S5, but yeah, of course it would be better with my S8 right now. But yeah, taking pictures, like taking winter pictures in Hokkaido is really amazing. You don't have to be a professional photographer to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good pastime. It's a good hobby to do while spending the winter.
Right.
And another thing that I usually do is, snow sports. So I got introduced to skiing, which I didn't really got successful with.
Yeah.
But I also started snowboarding back in 2017. I'm working that out. Yeah, anything else? Oh, baking. I do baking a lot.
That's true. You do baking a lot and like cooking and stuff.
Yeah, it really, it really keeps you motivated to do things because food equals warm stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
Right. Food is good. That's like it brings a kind
Yeah.
of like coziness to it, right?
Yeah. Baking is good because while you're making cakes and all, it warms the room. So
Right.
I wouldn't recommend baking in summer because it's really hot. But yeah, it's best to do that during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't do
And
baking.
yeah.
I don't do baking. I'm terrible at it. I do I,
Where's YouTube?
I do like cooking. No, like it's not that I can't bake. It's just I don't really want to. I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy the whole process of it. I like cooking a lot, but I don't like
Uh-huh.
baking because baking is so restrictive,
Ah,
right?
yeah, like you need to have the exact amount to do
Right?
this and
You need
that.
to
Yeah.
actually follow the recipe and like the right to have the right dosage and stuff like
Yeah,
that and
that's
what you do.
true.
Whereas in cooking, you have a lot more freedom. You can just like
Yeah.
kind of experiment and like be like, okay, I'm gonna try to put that shit in and see what happens. If you do that in a cake, it's gonna not gonna work. It's just not gonna
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for the last topic I'd like to share is the snowstorm experience we have in the countryside.
All right. Talk about snowstorms. So we don't really have snowstorms here in Canada.
Oh,
We have
really?
a lot of wind. Like right now, it's very windy. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already don't really get any snow as it is. Which is kind of funny because we had the Winter Olympics here in Vancouver in
Mm-hmm.
2010, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year for the Olympics where it snowed the least in like the last 25 years.
What?
Like we had basically no snow that winter at all.
So
And
what did you guys do?
so they had to I mean no, like the events for the Olympics were up there in the mountains, right? So they had snow over there, but like down here there was nothing. And even for up there in the mountains, they had to bring snow up like from up north and just like
Wow.
and dump that on the tracks and shit like that with the snow cannons and things so they could actually do their stuff. It was so bad.
Wow, same thing that is happening right now in Sapporo because this winter, this 2020 winter is not really good.
Yeah.
So they have to literally import snow from the other areas of Hokkaido so they can
Yeah.
literally build the snow sculptures.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the snowstorm experience. So luckily we don't have snowstorms in the city,
Right.
most probably because of the buildings
Right.
that
Right.
blocks the wind. But if you live in the countryside, especially on a mountainous area, snowstorms are very frequent. So Kyogoku, is famous for the Mount Yote. Mount Yote is like the Mount Fuji of Hokkaido,
Hmm.
and we have several mountains surrounding that. And it causes strong winds, and during winter, it causes snowstorms.
Right.
Now, for people who don't have any idea what it looks like, just imagine a typhoon, right? And instead of drops of water, it's snow. So
Yeah.
it's like wind from the outside and it's blowing the trees and everything is just white. And like instead of water, it's snow. And this is not ordinary snow. We're talking about wet snow.
Right.
All right. Now, is it dangerous? Yes, it's dangerous. There was one time I was driving on my way to one of my friend's restaurants. I didn't know there was gonna be a snowstorm. So I visited his place and he was like, "Why are you here? There's a snowstorm coming." And I'm like, "What? It didn't see in my weather app." And he's like, "I know, right? Because it was sudden." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Okay, just stay here a little bit in my restaurant. Let's just chat a little bit. And then if you feel safe going out, then just go." And when we chatted for a few hours, and after that, when I had to go home because it was like around 9 o'clock in the evening, and I started my car. It was clear, right? The skies were clear. It was
Mm.
okay. And then on my way, in the middle of the road, just so you know, guys, countrysides in Hokkaido are like there's almost nobody,
Right.
right? The population in my hometown in Kyoku are 3,000 people.
Wow.
3,000 people.
That's not even.
So
That's basically a village.
yeah, but it's a huge village, man.
It's a big village.
So I was driving and it was pitch black, right? Because there's almost no post lights, very
Hmm.
very rare post lights, and suddenly out of the blue, the snowstorm went back, and like I was shocked because the snow was literally like what do you call that, like going against
Yeah.
my windshield, and it looks like I'm doing time traveling, like, oh, it's no. like Star Trek effect. And I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like time traveling, whatever. And it's not just that. It's scary because you couldn't see anything. It's pitch black, and your lights, your car lights, headlights, are making the effect of the snow more what?
Mm,
More what?
right.
More reflect. It's reflecting,
Right.
and you couldn't. Yeah,
It's just blinding, right? You can't see anything when it happens.
exactly.
Right.
Like it, the wind is strong,
Mm-hmm.
and it's blocking your way. You couldn't see anything but pitch black in the snow, and I had to slow down like 40 kilometers per hour, because as the snow falls, the ground is becoming slippery.
Right.
All right, and it's very dangerous when you drive fast in a slippery road.
Obviously.
Uh, and it was terrible because the windshield is collecting these snow, and these snow is made up of water, a mixture of water and snow, and it's not melting. It's literally forming on the sides of my windshield, that my windshield is starting to get narrow and narrow and narrow,
Oh
and the
no.
snow is multiplying.
That's not
I
good.
got so scared. I was like, oh my God, am I going to get home? And it was really terrible because I had to, literally like open a bit part of my window
Right.
to grab the snow and take it out.
That's
and
crazy.
um and if I had to to open the window a little bit, snow comes in,
Right.
the coldness comes in, and it makes my windshield blurry.
Right. Makes everything foggy. Oh
Oh
no.
God, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. And
That's
luckily I was already I already reached my house, my apartment
right.
at that time, but I literally had to take patience. I didn't know what to do. It was my first winter.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That's
And
that
yeah.
sounds scary.
And guys, it's not even safer in the morning. It's more dangerous, because in if you experience driving in the middle of the snowstorm in a morning, everything is white. You don't see anything,
Right.
right? And even your headlights, if your headlights are yellow, you can't even see the yellowness of the headlights. Everything is just white,
That's crazy.
right? And yeah, I don't know if you've watched The Mist. So there were
Mm-hmm.
some parts of the movie where everything is white and then suddenly a monster just appears.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what happens when you drive on the main road, and then some cars are approaching from the far away. They are like white as ever, and then
Yeah.
suddenly bam, you can see you get surprised by the approaching cars.
Wow.
So yeah, it is not really recommended to drive in the snowstorm. And as much as possible, if you feel like there's gonna be a snowfall, please do not go outdoors and drive unless you want to die.
Unless you want to die.
Yeah. So what people usually do in Japan is they provide sandboxes in public. We have a
Right.
picture of that.
I do actually have a picture of the
Okay.
sandbox.
So what's a sandbox? These are, you would think that they are mailboxes, but they're not.
They kind
So
of
if
they kind of look like mailboxes. Yeah.
they kind of look like mailboxes, right? At first, I thought they were mailboxes. When I took a peek from the box, I see a bags of black things or whatever, and I'm like, what
Hmm.
are these? And then I looked at the side. You guys can see the picture. There's a side over there of an icon of a person
Yep.
being slippery. So that means it's anti-slip. It's an anti-slip
Hmm.
sandbox. So what people usually do is they voluntarily take, like sand from the bags in the sandbox, and then they scatter it on the ground. So those sandboxes are very common, especially in the city, and in the countryside you can see that in highways,
Right.
right? So like drivers, passerbys, these are people who are responsible to do that. Anyone can do that.
Hmm.
Anyone can just get from the box and you just, splash some sand. But please do not steal. Do not take them for your personal intentions.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know who would steal sand. It's like, oh, I'm gonna build a sand castle at home. I need sand. Why don't you make a snowman? You have snow.
So yeah, that's the first thing I noticed when I got here in Sapporo, because those sandboxes are very common,
Right.
and we don't have these sand in the countryside. We just literally walk
Yeah.
on this snowy road. But once I got here, I noticed these like tiny pebbles on the ground, and I'm like, what
Hmm.
are these? And one of my friends explained to me, and she's like, oh yeah, we usually get that from the sandbox over there. And I'm like,
Right.
that's a sandbox? But yeah, that's how
So,
that's how
yeah.
I learned about that.
Um, just like Ken says in the chat here, like we have similar things with sand and salt. The
Ah.
difference is that you don't find that kind of stuff like on the road, like readily available
Mm.
for everybody to just kind of do it themselves. Um,
Yeah.
Either we have to buy the sand or the salt ourselves if we want to use it for ourselves, or we
Mm.
have to rely on the municipalities like the city and stuff like that to actually take care of that themselves. So like you see the trucks going on the roads and just spraying the sand
Yeah.
or the salt everywhere and do it like that. So if the city is not ready, like here in Vancouver, we're never ready for
Mm.
that. Uh, so when we get a lot of snow here, everybody was like, "Oh shit, it's snowing!" It's like, "Crap, we're not ready." So everybody freaks out because nobody knows how to like react to snow and how to drive in snow. And then the city finally decides, okay, we're gonna clear the roads, and then we're gonna put salt on the road. So they go with the trucks and the blowers, like they just plow the snow everywhere, and then it's a
Mm.
mess because it's just you can't walk anywhere anymore because all they do is push the snow on the ice on the sidewalks, and then
Okay.
you have nowhere to walk. And then after that, they put sand everywhere,
Uh-huh.
and then it doesn't snow anymore. So you have roads with sand on them for like days. Which is like
Wow.
we're never ready for that. Like Vancouver is the worst for that. But
Yeah, I saw some viral videos of car meeting accidents. Like they
yeah,
literally just
yeah.
I mean, which part of Canada is that?
Up here in Vancouver, the one usually the viral videos are like on the east side. I
Okay.
think I've seen some
That's
videos.
crazy.
I've seen some videos from Toronto and stuff like that. But like, yeah, no, here people do not know how to drive in snow. Like they don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, that's a good what now that you mentioned that, so in Hokkaido we have a different level of driving test of drive tests,
Right.
drive to get your driving license.
Hmm.
um in Tokyo or in other areas in Japan where it's warmer, you get the typical driver's license test.
Right.
But in Hokkaido, you have to take two, like two levels of driving tests. If
Okay.
you're lucky enough, if you want to get a driver's license the easier way, you take the test during summer.
Right.
But if you're unlucky and you have to take them in the winter, you need to train yourself how to drive in the winter, because they sometimes they don't take out the snow
Hmm.
on the road, and that can
Yeah,
be slippery.
because I mean like there's only so much of the snow you can take out when it just snows all the time, right? Like
Exactly.
there's a point where there's like no point taking the snow out anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, but I wouldn't say that it's harder to get a driver's license in Hokkaido. I would say it's even harder in Tokyo or in other areas in the south.
Yeah.
But what will make, passing the driver's license test in Hokkaido difficult would be the fact that if you take the test in winter.
Right.
Because if you drive it the right way, and suddenly, just because of the snowy path, the icy path, you slip and
Yep.
then you miss and then you hit the barrier,
Yep.
that's it, you fail the test.
Yep.
I remember, oh God, I remember I took my driver's license test in the winter and I failed 3 times, guys. God, failed 3 times. The reason I got my license was I did the Puss in Boots eyes, like, can't handle this anymore. No, I'm not kidding, guys. I mean, I did the drama thing and I tried to be cute to the Japanese people. And I don't know how I got it, but the Japanese people were like, oh, okay. Oh, one more. Okay, okay. Don't cry. Don't cry. Okay, let's go. Let's go. And then I passed. Yay! I got my license.
that
I remember
that's
my
funny.
Scottish friend Laura. She's like, you know what, Jennifer, you're lucky. If that was me, I don't think it would take effect. No, they wouldn't believe in me. But yeah,
That's funny.
sometimes being cute will. But anyway, no. What? So
Um,
yeah, I guess that's it. We have
hold on.
more than an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, we do actually. We're almost at 2 hours. I do have a question here on the chat. Someone
Yes.
asking, you were talking about, when it's snowing a lot, especially with snowstorms and stuff like that, to preferably not go out.
Mm.
The question is, when it happens like that and it's that bad, will businesses actually close down and tell workers not to come in? Is that a thing?
That's a good question, you guys, because it doesn't happen. I mean, businesses are still on, even during a snowstorm. In fact, in school, if there's a snowstorm and we can still get to school, there's still school.
Wow. So if there is a way to get there, it's open.
Exactly.
Wow.
But if cases to cases, things go wrong, somebody gets an accident, then that's the time businesses are
Yeah.
gonna stop.
Yeah. Obviously, they're just gonna try to push it as much as they can.
It's terrible,
Like
guys. I mean, mm,
here, it's actually kind of funny
mm,
because, like no, I think we understand that here in Vancouver, people are not used to the snow,
mm.
and when we get like an inch or two of snow, it's panic, and
Oh, wow.
and usually the big question is, are schools gonna be open?
Me too. That's the same question I have.
And
Mm.
sometimes they don't open for like 2 inches of
Oh,
snow, and I'm like, really?
what?
Really? Sometimes they're open,
Wow.
sometimes they're not.
Uh-huh.
It's like so weird. Like no, when it was snowing on yesterday was Friday, we had a lot of snow, and
Mm.
schools and universities here had to send out the messages, "Yo, guys, we're open. It's nothing. Don't worry about it."
Wow.
It's like really, yeah. I figured it's nothing. It's not like we have 3 feet of snow. Come on,
That's
you can take the
crazy.
bus and the train. The bus and the train has no problem going. Yeah,
Even in the, yeah, so relating to the question, um, most businesses are open because it's a peak season, like they are anticipating the tourists
right,
to come here. And yes, even during the snowstorms, ski resorts are still open.
right.
And
Which makes sense, right?
like, yeah, convenience stores, ski resorts, hotels are still open.
Mm.
Even school is open. So there was a time I looked at the window and it was crazy snowstorming, and I called the school. I'm like, do we have work? And they're like, oh yeah, Jennifer, see you in an hour. And I'm
It's like,
like,
oh no.
okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on my car. Okay. So we went to school, and all the kids, right? All the kids were not listening to the teachers. They were looking at the window.
Yeah.
They were looking at the window, and you know the Japanese culture.
Hmm.
They're not straightforward. They're like, Sensei, look at the window. And then the other kids are like, yeah, like, how are we gonna go home? How are we gonna go home? And then suddenly the principal is like, all right, let's decide school's gonna be dismissed. And it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon and still snowstorming, and the kids were like, yay, no class, no class. And they're like, but teacher, how are we gonna get home?
That's the thing I was gonna say. It's like, cool, no class, but we're still stuck here.
Exactly. It's terrible. Oh god, I experienced that a lot of times when I was working in a countryside. it's not just, it's not just one time. It's every winter. I have to like look in the window if it's snowstorming, do the same thing. Do we have school? And the same answer goes, yes, see you in an
Yeah.
hour.
It's always on. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
But I
I don't know
mean,
how we do
yeah.
it, but we do it.
Yeah, I guess it's a way of life. It kind of, I guess it goes with the with area, right? And you can, like, people kind
Yeah.
of get used to it and adapt, right? Like here, here in Vancouver, we don't know how to deal with snow and winter. But if you go up north to like Calgary,
Mm.
which is really not far from us, like I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like not even an hour flight from here. Um, they've designed the city, like the core city of Calgary, around winter.
Wow.
Because they get very very cold and they get a lot of snow in the winter, like a lot of snow as well. But they've designed all the main core buildings of downtown to be interconnected,
Mm-hmm.
so you can be in the city in the winter in the middle of the snow and go from actually move around the city without having to be outside.
What?
Yeah,
How?
you have like overpasses and stuff linking buildings.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you go to work in the morning, and then you
Yeah.
park your car on the ground or whatever, and then you go in that building. So if you need to go on the other side of town, you just go to the next building using the overpass, and then to the
Right.
next. You can actually travel in the city using overpasses like that. And
Wow,
that and
interesting.
those were designed specifically because of winter. So people,
Speaking of that, we also have that in the major cities in Hokkaido, which is
right,
Sapporo, Asaikawa, Kushiro. All right. So in Sapporo, we have these underground
right,
passageways. So in Odori Park, right? In Odori Park is common, is famous for events and the snow festival. And we also have the underground passes
right.
where during the winter it keeps you warm. And the interesting thing about that is while you are walking from one station to the other, there are stores on the sides where you can
Mm,
feast your eyes, or if you want to go shopping for just a couple of minutes, then you can do that.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Okay, I think that's it for now. We are
Yeah.
almost 2 years. 2 years. We're
Two
almost
years.
2 hours. 2 hours. We're almost 2 hours.
Longest episode ever. 2 years.
two, 2 hours. 2 hours.
All right.
2 years.
Does anybody in the chat have any question before we run up? Nobody. Nobody. I don't think so. I think they would have talked already. Bruce says they're like
Mm-hmm.
a 5 seconds delay anyway. Oh, there we go. Oh, someone says I do. All right. What's your question? First podcast is the longest.
Oh,
2 years.
2 years.
2 years
2 hours.
podcast.
2 hours. 2 hours.
All right,
Damn, I'm squeezing. Yeah.
but anyway, after the show and throughout the next few days, we will be posting some stuff on the Facebook page and Instagram and
Mm.
Twitter to kind of complement the podcast there. Now we're gonna put some pictures of the stuff we've been talking about, of snowy
Mhm.
places
Okay.
and
So
things.
while
It's
we're
gonna be
waiting,
great.
do we have a question?
All right. If I ever took a trip out to Tokyo, how is the welcoming of foreigners? Like how?
What?
Okay. How do like for someone traveling to Tokyo from the outside, so let's say from the US, how
Yeah.
do Japanese people react to foreigners like that coming to visit?
Does that have anything to do with winter?
It's not really in theme that someone asking.
Uh,
I mean, we could do kind of answer that in earlier episodes of the podcast where I don't know.
how do locals react to tourists?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, to foreigners.
Too far. Oh, okay. So I'm going to relate that to. Am I going to relate that to Tokyo or to Hokkaido?
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay. So being a foreigner, right? But I'm not a tourist, but I'm a foreigner living
Right.
in Hokkaido. So whenever winter comes, one of the most common tourists we have here are Australians, especially when I was living in Kyoku, which is near Niseko.
Right.
Niseko is famous for the ski resorts, the snowboard thingies. So
Mhm.
all these ski people, or we call ski jins, Jin means person.
Right.
So we call them ski jins.
That's funny that you actually make that word combination, ski gins.
Yeah, so the Japanese people are not happy about it.
Yeah.
They feel that okay. I'm talking about foreigners in general. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about all foreigners are like this, right?
Right.
So the locals in Hokkaido are not happy when the tourists come here
Hmm.
because as sad as it is, most foreigners don't really behave well in Japan.
Right. Because most people
Yeah,
going to Japan are not necessarily aware of the culture and well, like
yeah.
the etiquette and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. They're not, the locals are not happy about it. They feel like they're being invaded.
Right.
One reason is because most tourists are a bit abusive of the fact that they're tourists and they just want to do whatever they want.
Right.
So if they speak loudly in public, they would do that. I mean, the Japanese culture, they're not used to
Hmm.
loud mouths and everything. And people in Hokkaido don't really have a lot of foreigners all year round. They usually have them in winter.
Right.
So it's a seasonal thing. They feel uncomfortable
Hmm.
and they get more intimidated because their English level is not that good. And
Right.
whenever they see tourists speaking in a foreign language they couldn't understand, it makes them feel intimidated. But don't get me wrong. Most in my experience, people in the cities like here in Sapporo, they are half of the population is happy about the tourists because they feel like, oh, so these people are interested
Right.
in visiting our country. It's a good way to practice our English. But the other half of the people here are not really happy about it because of the same reaction the people in the countryside are feeling. But I would say it's a 50-50 positive,
All right.
and yeah, it's both positive and negative
Mm.
reactions to the locals. So I hope I answered your question.
Hopefully. Seems
Yeah.
yeah, seems pretty good to me. But anyway, I think we're gonna wrap up here because we're at
Uh-huh.
the almost 2 hours mark. We're gonna play a little video at the end showing those Christmas cakes that you got with Shingo.
Yeah. So at the end of this podcast, as what Florent mentioned, I am very happy about the result because when we posted it on Facebook, I think we already have 8,000 views
Are
in
we
just 3 days.
are we at 8,000 views? Actually,
Yeah, I checked it earlier today, and I think we already have 8,000 or 9,000 views.
wow. I actually
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
looked at it.
surprised. I'm really happy about it. Thank you guys, for keeping it up and for
Dude,
supporting our
we are
our page.
we are right now at 7:57 p.m. We are at 9 views
Mhm.
away from 10,000.
What?
Well,
That's crazy.
almost at 10,000 views. This is insane.
Wow, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
And I actually told it to Shingo. And oh, by the way, Shingo is in a video. And Shingo was kind of
Shingo is a cake master.
yeah, Shingo's the star of that video. But I told him about it. I was like, "Is it okay that you're exposed to the world?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally okay as long as you're happy about it." And I was like, "Do you know how?" Well, at that time I was talking to him.
Yeah.
Do you know that we already have 6,000 views? And he was like, 本当にマジで I was like, yeah, it's crazy. And he was like, すげえ。すげえじゃねえよ、すげえ。But yeah, ladies, don't say すげえ. It's bad. But it's only for men.
It's bad.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
it.
That's
Sorry,
it.
That's it.
Cool. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you're listening to or let me redo that. I need to practice my outro. Okay. If you're listening to this on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, or watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Don't hesitate to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that helps us out. We hope to see you guys on the next episode. Not sure when yet, as usual. We never really know when the next episode's gonna be. But to stay updated, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Link will be in the description below for the recorded version. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one then. Bye.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.